Warning! This video is intended for educational and MS documentary purposes. The host, Jenny, of the podcast show, The Demon Within, is not a doctor or any type of professional medical advisor.
I am a warrior.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Demon Within. I'm reporting live from the War Room. I want to take a moment to walk you through this space because it's where I find my strength. On my walls, I have Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon collectibles everywhere. I have figurines from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I've got some really spooky things in the War Room as well, like Jason, Chucky, Freddy Krueger looking over my shoulder. I even have some Back to the Future items, Bob Ross, Rick and Morty, and some Funko Pops that I've collected. There's also little dog items that resemble some of my fur babies since I am a huge animal lover. I also have a shrine for all the special things my children have made for me through the years. There's also photos of my children and some haunted relics from places I've visited with my daughter when we were recording our previous podcast, Milkshakes and Ghosts. Speaking of former podcasts, there's some awards my daughter and I received in recognition of Milkshakes and Ghosts podcasts. I also have items from the first podcast I worked on years ago with my husband Teddy called Cream in My Coffee. You're probably wondering, why do I have all these items in my war room? Most of the items are kid toys. Technically, I don't look at it like toys because they are collectibles. And there's a simple answer to why I have all these items. MS tried to steal your joy. It tries to make you feel incomplete and broken. But when I look at these collectibles and special memories, I feel like a kid again. This is my safe place. In this room, I'm not just a patient. I'm a podcaster, storyteller, collector, pet lover, a mom, and a wife. If you don't have a war room, I want you to imagine that you're sitting in mines with me right now. Pull up a chair next to me. You're safe here.
In 2011, at just 31 years old, Lydia's life changed forever. Diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, she embarked on a journey of resilience and determination to navigate the realities of treatment. For 13 years, she faced long hours in clinical settings, searching for comfort and normalcy amidst the cold, sterile environment amongst hospitals. But Lydia refused to let her diagnosis define her. She turned her experience into a mission, creating infusion wear, zip sleeve, adaptive sweatshirts. These aren't just clothes. They are a solution, designed by a warrior for warriors. Infusion wear offers discreet sleeve zippers that allow easy access to IVs while keeping you warm and cozy. The greatest reward for Lydia is seeing her customers share their stories and hearing how these sweatshirts have made their toughest days a little brighter. Because hospitals may be cold, but you don't have to be. Order your infusion wear today and receive 15% off with code JENNY. Visit www.infusionwear.com.
Ad disclaimer. The views expressed in these advertisements are those of the businesses themselves. The Demon Within Surviving MS podcast does not officially endorse, guarantee, or take responsibility.
Lately, the world has been talking about Christina Applegate. People are uncomfortable because she's being real about the ugly parts of MS. People call Christina Applegate's updates controversial or graphic. But let's be real. MS is graphic. Multiple sclerosis isn't kind and it isn't pretty. MS robs you of your mobility, your energy, and sometimes your dignity. Christina Applegate's bluntness isn't a choice. It's a reflection of her reality. You can't experience 30 hospitalizations and come out smiling for the cameras. She's allowed to be mad and she's allowed to be loud. It's not TMI, it's the truth. If her honesty makes people uncomfortable, that's because the reality of a mess is uncomfortable. Her emotions aren't just valid, they're the only honest response to a body that's declared war on itself. We should be applauding her for refusing to sugarcoat a condition that is systematically devastating. Her depression and her anger aren't worrisome. They are a completely valid reaction to a disease that never takes a day off. At the end of the day, Christina isn't just a celebrity with a diagnosis. She's a warrior in the same circle as the rest of us. Seeing her stand in her truth makes me realize how important it is for me to stand in mine. Because if we don't tell the world what MS truly looks like, then who will? It's time to stop apologizing for the space that this disease takes up. So, if you've ever felt like you've had to hide your pain to make others feel comfortable, stop. Your anger is valid. Your struggle is real. And in this circle, you never have to sugarcoat a thing. I want a roll call right now for everyone who's listening out there.
Your attention, please.
If you're listening from a hospital bed, I see you. If you're listening while you're struggling to use a walker, wheelchair, or cane, I see you. If you're sitting in the car crying right now because you can't remember what you wanted to say, I see you. There's a difference between complaining and testifying the truth. Society loves a hero story, but they hate the ugly chapters. They want us to be an inspirational poster hanging above their bed so they don't have to sit with our reality. They want the miracle, but they don't want the mess. I'm not here to be your inspiration. I'm here to be real. In this war room, we don't fake. If you need to scream, scream. Today, the masks come off. If you're tired, then say it. If you're mad, be it. We're done faking. I want to be transparent. It's not just multiple sclerosis that I'm battling right now. As I've mentioned in other episodes, I also struggle with Hashimoto's syndrome, Sjogren's, Raynaud's phenomenon. It literally feels like my body is under siege every day of my life. As I've mentioned before, I'm obviously losing my hair, my teeth. The muscles in my legs are completely fading away. I currently have a left leg that is smaller than my right leg, so it does make me walk a little funny. That's why I started using a cane, a walker, or wheelchair due to the fact that I can no longer walk without it because my left leg fails me all the time. My struggles are literally stealing my ability to walk right now. Sometimes it's even hard for me to talk to all of you out there. My tongue feels heavy. My speech is slurred, doesn't make sense. I sound drunk half the time. And my brain is constantly foggy. Let's talk about the cost. The part society wants us to hide so they can stay comfortable.
You have to hide. I don't want anyone to know.
I'm talking about the clothes that don't fit. Because the MS demon is trademarking your body, eating your muscles, and stealing your mobility. I'm talking about the smile you hide because the Sjogren's took your teeth. The hats and the hair pieces you wear to cover up the patches on your scalp that this horrible disease has left you with. It's a heavy, jagged weight to carry. Sit with that for a minute. Stay there in the dark. Don't try to fix it just yet. Just acknowledge the cost of the fight. Don't try to find a silver lining. Just feel the weight of it. It's okay to mourn the person that you used to be. We miss her too. But the person standing in the wreckage right now, she's Rory. So don't you dare underestimate the version of you that's left. You aren't a victim of this war. You're a lion surviving it. Before we go any further, I want to set the table. My war room has a very long table, and there's a seat for every single one of you out there. I don't care what you believe. I don't care about your gender, who you love, your race. I'm not biased. I love people from all walks of life. I'm about to share a very short summary of a story from the Bible that helps me. But even if you aren't religious, stay with me. This is a story about a human being that was pushed to the limits. I've always seen my dad as the modern-day Job. While his specific story is his own, and I respect his privacy, the lessons I learned watching him belong to me. I learned that you can be covered in sores and still be a king. Now please stay with me for this next part. It's brief, and I promise I'm going somewhere with it, okay? I'm going to read a very short verse from the Bible. Job chapter 2, verses 7 and 8. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and afflicted Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. Then Job took a piece of broken pottery and scraped himself with it as he sat among the ashes. Think about that image for a second. He was sitting in the dirt, scraping his own skin just to find a moment of relief. Later on in the story, Job's friends show up, not to help, but to judge. They told him he must have done something wrong to deserve this pain. The reason why I wanted to read this passage to all of you today is because people in everyday life do this to us. They judge our relapses and our struggles because they've never had to sit with us in the ashes. They see the pottery and the dirt, and they call it defeat. They see the tears and the anger, and they call it a breakdown. But let's set the record straight right now. Screaming isn't quitting, and crying isn't a white flag. MS is a thief, and there's nothing inspirational about a robbery. Society wants us to pretty it up, to put a bow on our pain so they can sleep better at night. But in this war room, we know the truth. You have to go through the fire to get through the day. If you need to rage at the walls because your legs won't move, do it. If you need to sob until your chest aches because you're not the person today that you were yesterday, then do it. Let it out. Let all of it out. That isn't defeat. That's the sound of a soul refusing to be silenced by a broken body. We all cope differently because we're fighting different demons. Don't let anyone tell you that your grief is weakness. In that moment of screaming, in that moment of raw, ugly honesty, you aren't falling apart. You're reinforcing your spirit for the next round. You're surviving the way that you need to. And that is the only victory that matters.
Whoa! What are you?
Ad disclaimer, ad disclaimer.
The views expressed in these advertisements are those of the businesses themselves. The Demon Within, Surviving MS Podcast, does not officially endorse, guarantee, or take responsibility for the products or services provided by third parties.
Samantha Stacy started the Cute Cane Shop after being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. As a young cane user, she couldn't find anything that matched her style and personality. Samantha loves creating custom designs for the young and young at heart. Her amazing canes were featured in Cope magazine. Visit her shop on Etsy at cutecaneshopetsy.com.
Hey, I'm Sam, the owner of Cute Cane Shop, and this is just a reminder that your cane or mobility aid does not ruin your outfit.
You see, I like the story of Job. It's always been one of my favorites in the Bible because he shows the truth. You can be in the dirt and you can be in agony and you still can be unbreakable. You aren't weak for being in the ashes. You are a king or a queen who is simply surviving a chapter that the world isn't brave enough to read yet. Your throne isn't gone. It's just waiting for the smoke to clear. The story of Job is a reminder that all of us warriors are unbreakable. But let's get one thing straight. Being unbreakable doesn't mean you never crack. It doesn't mean you don't shatter into a million jagged pieces on your bathroom floor crying. It means that even when you're broken, you're still made of the strongest material on this earth. You're like a diamond. And how is a diamond made? It's made by being suffocated under miles of dirt and crushed by a level of pressure that would turn anything else into dust. When you break, you don't become trash.
I'm not garbage.
You don't become damaged goods.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
You're still precious. And you're still harder than any weapon this disease tries to use against you. And even in the dark, especially in the dark, you still find a way to catch the light and throw it back into the world's face. You aren't broken, you're refined. When the MS demon tries to tell me that I'm nothing but a patient, I look at the truth. I look at the evidence. I look at the faces of my husband and my children, and I remind myself that I'm not just surviving for me. I'm the anchor of this family. I'm the wife that still has a life to build and a mother who still has a legacy to leave. They are my truth. They are my evidence. They are the reason I refuse to surrender another inch of my soul to this disease or any of the diseases. I surround myself with their love because I need to remember I am still her. I am still that woman, that gym girl, that fearless person. I'm the woman who loves fearlessly and fights harder. I'm the same daughter that my father raised to be a queen in the ashes. The one who doesn't know how to quit. I'm not a victim in a sick bed. I'm a lioness defending her pride. I don't just sit here and hope it gets easier. I take all the love from my family and I let it turn into a controlled burn in my chest. I'm not just recovering, I'm reclaiming. I'm grabbing the wife and the mother I am by the hand, and I'm wielding her to the warrior I've been forced to become. I'm checking my armor. I'm sharpening my spirit until it's jagged enough to fight back. And then I look this disease right in its hollow eyes and say, you don't get to have me. You don't get to sit at my table, and you don't get to claim my future. My husband still has his wife, my kids still have their mother, and I am nowhere near done yet. I want all of you to just pause right now, take a moment, take in a deep breath. Look at your reasons. Look at the faces that make the fight worth the pain. This isn't just about surviving. It's about refusing to give up, but at the same time, being allowed to scream, cry, and get angry about it. You don't have to smile 24/7. Multiple sclerosis sucks. I hate this disease. There's nothing to smile about. We're all suffering in our own way. Yet, we open our eyes every single morning. We rise. We continue to live. Why can't a lot of people see that?
Don't touch that dial. You won't believe the tip we're sharing in the next segment. It's a total game changer for your daily routine. But before we hit a home run with that, let's take a quick time out for a word from the amazing sponsors making this show possible. Stick around. You don't want to miss this.
Surviving Life is a deeply honest and uplifting memoir by Ricky Harvey, a British author who has lived with primary progressive MS for over 2 decades. From a turbulent childhood marked by family conflict to the challenges of serious illness, Ricky shares a life shaped by resilience, love, travel, and unmistakable British humor. This is not a medical book, but a lived experience story, one that balances tears with laughter and hardship with hope. Along the way, Ricky reflects on marriage, family, disability, and the importance of finding light even in the darkest moments. As praised by Paul Lima, the book is told with humor, honesty, and a huge heart. Surviving life is a reminder that love, family, and humor can carry us through anything.
Surviving Life can be purchased on Amazon. The author of this book, Ricky Harvey, donates 20% of royalties to his local MS therapy center.
The views expressed in these advertisements are those of the businesses themselves. The Demon Within Surviving MS podcast does not officially endorse.
No matter what we go through with this disease or any other chronic illness, we're still here, fighting. People have the nerve to ask me if I still have faith. And then they tell me to just pray it away. Let's get one thing straight. My faith is my backbone. But it isn't a magic trick. And God isn't a genie. I'm not going to sit here in the dark wishing that this disease would just magically disappear. That's not how this works. You wouldn't tell someone with a raging infection to skip the antibiotics and just think happy thoughts.
Think of the happiest things.
You go to the doctor, you take the medicine, and you fight. Some of us will have better days battling this disease. Some of us will get worse. That's the reality of MS. This isn't about feeling better or finding some fake temporary comfort. It's about becoming fierce. It's about looking at the wreckage of your day and deciding that you're still the one in charge. I'm reaching back and grabbing every memory of the woman I used to be, the one who didn't know how to lose, and I'm fusing her to the mother and wife I am right now. And I'm telling the MS demon, you had your shot yesterday, and I'm still standing. You tried to bury me, but you forgot I was a seed. You don't get my joy. You don't get my dignity. And you sure as hell don't get my future. So take your breath. Dig your heels in deep and find your anchors. Whether it's the faces of your children, your husband, or the fire in your soul. We aren't just enduring the next round that this disease is trying to dish out. We are walking into it with our heads held high and our fists clenched tight. The MS demon can whisper defeat into your ear every single day. Remember who you are. You don't have to smile all the time. You don't have to be positive 24 hours a day. Scream, cry, get angry. But never, never forget the warrior that you are. None of us chose this path. None of us wants this disease. Don't let it take your spirit. Because your spirit is the only thing this MS demon can't touch without your permission. It can take your mobility, it can mess with your memory, and it can try to steal your dignity. But it cannot have the core of who you are. I know you're tired. I know you're exhausted from pretending to be fine. For a world that doesn't understand the weight of this armor. Look at me. We're still here. I'm still here. You're still here. We are still breathing. We are still warriors standing in the wreckage, refusing to be erased.
We're stepping away from the demon within for a word from our sponsors. Don't go far, though. We're trading the battle for a blueprint. Stick around for a special book reveal that proves every story is worth telling. We'll be right back.
They walked away to protect their secrets. Fate brought them back to reveal the truth. When Emil disappeared from Rachel's life, he took her unspoken what-ifs with him. He was drowning in unrelenting pain.
She was quietly navigating a new life with multiple sclerosis.
Neither felt whole enough to stay. Now, a chance encounter at a Toronto credit union
brings them face to face.
He's no longer the rising star she knew.
And she's the one in charge.
Amidst the routine of the workday, old tensions reignite, forcing them to confront the love-sick reality of their lives. From prolific author Paul Lima comes a story of love interrupted and the bravery it takes to be vulnerable when your body feels like the enemy, lovesick. Paul Lima has lived with secondary progression (MS) for 25 years. Paul is a veteran writer and the author of more than 45 books across non-fiction and fiction. A former business writing trainer and freelance specialist, Paul now focuses on crafting deeply resonant novels that explore life's unspoken moments. His latest work, Lovesick, is a testament to his ability to blend realistic life challenges with the complexities of modern romance.
Paul Lima's books can be found on Amazon and as EPUBs on Kobo.com.
The views expressed in these advertisements are those of the businesses themselves. The Demon Within Surviving MS podcast does not officially endorse, guarantee, or take responsibility for the products or services provided by third parties.
This journey is messy, it's painful, and it's unfair. But you're not in it alone. Hold on to your reasons, hold on to your truth, and when the smoke clears from this round, let them see you're still here. You are unbroken, you are unyielding, and you are worth every bit of this fight. To everyone out there in their own war room, may you find the strength to rise. We're shaky, we're scared, but we are all still here. You are unbreakable. Thank you for sitting with me today. I'm right here in the trenches with you, and I'll see you next time.
The Demon Within Surviving MS podcast is featuring a new weekly segment on the show called Your Reason for Fighting. Whether it's your family, pets, friends, community, achievements, or hobbies, please share your reason.
Email your photo to be featured on our show to The Demon Within Surviving MS @gmail.com.
Subscribe! Like! Comment! Share!
Is blessed. No matter what obstacle she faces, she finds a way to make it through. She's a survivor and a champion, and there's nothing that can be said or done that can ever take that away from her. This woman is blessed, believe it, she's a champion, living without stress, believe it, she's a champion. This woman is blessed, believe it, she's a champion, living without stress.